You probably know about the environment, but what does it mean? To some, it is a habitat, food, a livelihood, an income, medicine, cultural identity. The environment is you and me. This is the reason we ought to preserve and enhance the environment. The 1972 Stockholm Conference laid a foundation to achieve a global cause of environment protection based on three key principles. The three key principles of the Stockholm Declaration: environment assessment, environment management, and international measures to support assessment and management activities.
And this was the first international conference which addressed the environment. At this point, the UN member state recognized for the first time in history that environment, poverty, sustainable development were interconnected, and they united under the slogan "Only One Earth," made bold proclamations and recommendations, and they also paved the way for a multilateral approach.
The implementation of these principles pioneered the establishment of the United Nations Environment Programme in 1972. These key principles have guided international discourse on environment management in connection with economic development, environmental conservation, and the well-being of the people between developed and developing countries.
A number of African countries, including ours here in Uganda, are land-based. Our resources are land-based. We have the water, agriculture is based on land, our tourism is based on land, our health system based on, our food system based on land. Therefore, we cannot talk about prosperity of the nation without looking at where the prosperity comes from. Prosperity is coming from the land. If we don't manage the sort of conflict between what we want now, economic progress, yes, we want to grow, but we're growing by destroying the wetlands. When you destroy the wetlands, yes, you might have a factory there, but what does it actually mean for your tourism?
In commemoration of the World Environment Day in June 2022, the UN Assembly will convene an international conference, the Stockholm Plus 50. The theme for this conference is "A Healthy Planet for the Prosperity of All, Our Responsibility, Our Opportunity in celebration of 50 years since the establishment of the United Nations Environment Programme."
As a world, we are dealing with three critical planetary boundaries or challenges that we are seeing. One is climate, the other one is pollution, and the third one is nature. And that's how Stockholm Plus 50 comes into shape.
Stockholm Plus 50 is an important platform, like COP was, and the next COP will be. I think these platforms are really, really useful when we see it as a continuation of a discussion. So we're not starting a new discussion. Elements of these issues have been discussed in different fora. So this should be seen as a continuation of discussions that have already started and positioning for discussions that will continue.
Member countries, including Uganda, are now carrying out national consultations based on three key leadership dialogue themes.
They are nationwide from the regional level, engaging all stakeholders of all different categories: the private sector, CSOs, women, youth, government institutions.
Leadership Dialogue Theme 1, reflecting on the urgent need for action to achieve a healthy environment.
We came out with some recommendations, and one of them is to get rid of the use of plastics that are harmful to the environment and adopt reusable packaging materials.
We also need gender and equity responsive products. The energy saving, the harvesting of water, the promotion of bioenergy. All those are important remedies to climate change, and we need to ensure that we've made the right investments.
through eco-plastile operations, we've been able to create over 150 green jobs, especially for youth and women who collect plastic, sorting, and the manufacturing of roofing tiles that we sell to the construction sector. Our flagship product is a roofing tile that is made out of 100% recycled plastic waste and construction waste. And this roofing tile is 2 times larger than the conventional roofing tiles on the market. It means it saves on timber consumption, thus saving costs for construction for our clients, but also it saves a huge amount of timber consumption, thus saving forest directly.
Leadership Dialogue 2: Achieving a sustainable and inclusive recovery from the coronavirus disease COVID-19 pandemic.
There's an emergence on digitalization of the agriculture and food value chain, enabling market access for farmers and agro dealers to the last mile user.
During the lockdowns, be able to pick groceries, vegetables from farmer A to consumer B. And of course, the connecting factor was the phone.
Yes, a lot of people are communicating online. Yes, a lot of people are now using mobile payments. Yes, a lot of people are using e-commerce. But how about the people who have no electricity? How about the people who are off-grid? We're thinking, can we build back better? Can we build solutions for a better world using renewable energy to connect the unconnected to the digital economy? It's the hope of building better solutions for a post-pandemic world, better, renewable, sustainable solutions.
Leadership Dialogue 3: Accelerating the implementation of the environmental dimension of sustainable development in the context of the Decade of Action and Delivery for Sustainable Development.
A healthy planet means that we need to put in place sustainable practices to manage the environment, reduce pollution, advocate for recycling, transit to more renewable energy technologies.
We cannot have fruition from such conferences when people don't understand them. I don't think if UNDP organized this conference and invited my village mates here, and the language they can't understand is so complicated, even if you did the bylaws, they are still in the language they don't fully understand. I find it's important that we can go and do some translation of those bylaws, for instance, in their local languages.
The key objective of the national consultations is to feed into the nationally determined contributions on sustainable development goals and encourage the adoption of green post-COVID-19 recovery plans.
This Stockholm Plus 50 conference opens the way for accelerating actions to achieve the 2030 agenda and beyond. It will complement important spaces that have been created for discussing issues of climate, nature, and pollution challenges that are posed to development and health. This represents an opportunity to think and act beyond the silos towards a more systemic approach.
It is an opportunity for us to amplify the voices of the poor, the youth, the women, the indigenous groups, local communities, and other marginalized groups, yet was affected by climate change.
The recommendations from these dialogues will act as a springboard to accelerate the implementation of the United Nations Decade of Action to deliver the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development.